Let's face it, we all love guitar solos and we all love lists. So here's my personal, very personal, list of top 20 Australian rock guitar solos. What's my criteria? Is it right for the song? Is it memorable? Is it quirky or clever? Is it fun to play? Is it genius? Does it spark joy? Give us a like and let's get on with it. First up, Eagle Rock by Daddy Cool, the ever-tasteful Ross Hannaford on guitar. Total simplicity. This is the simplest solo in the entire list, but it's perfect. Now, as a young guy in cover bands, I always overplayed, always. But I distinctly remember that those three notes seemed to provide as much self-indulgent fun as I could possibly need during this song. Coma by Max Sharam. Wow, this is psycho. Do you remember this? It came in at number 8 in the Hottest 100 in 1994, landed right next to About a Girl by Nirvana. So it was up there in the public consciousness of this country back then. This solo was played by Ben Nightingale, perhaps better known for his stint with The Clouds. That's awesome. Max tells me that was cut together from a couple of takes. I just love it, and again, I reckon it's perfect for the song, especially because Max's melody is so wayward right from the very outset. The verse is like a D major to a B flat major, and Max's melody it's crazy, like you gotta have a crazy solo to match a melody like that. Well done, Ben. Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House. Neil Finn plays that solo. And it's beautiful, isn't it? And this is a totally singable solo. It's perfect for the song. It's another little melody in the song. You know, it's catchy enough and beautiful enough that it could have been a song in its own right, a riff for a song or something like that. But I think what I love the most about this is that Neil played it. You know, it's Neil's playing on the recording. There's a great video here on YouTube about the recording of this song by Tim Pearce, one of my favourite YouTubers. A fantastic session guitarist, absolutely. This guy, I mean, go and check out his channel if you haven't already. Tim Pearce, wonderful. But he tells the story of when Crowded House went over to the States to make the first album, and he was called in by presumably management as a session musician, as a wonderfully proficient guitarist, to learn the songs, rehearse with the band, so that when they go in the studio, there's someone there who can really play. But Neil goes, "I'll be right, thanks." And that's Neil on the recording. Is it not enough that he is one of the world's most beautiful songwriters, like an incredibly talented songwriter, beautiful singer, but then he also doesn't need Tim Pearce to play his solos, thanks very much. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful piece of music. Love it. All right, is it Australian? Yeah, Crowded House are an Australian band. I know Neil's from across the ditch, but... All right, next one, Onion Skin by Boom Crash Opera. Now, I presumed that solo was played by the wonderful Peter Farnan, But I messaged Pete to check that, and he tells me that Richard Pleasance actually played the solo on that song, which doesn't surprise me. Both superb players with ingenious parts. The great thing was that Peter came back with a lovely little story. He said that that solo was rich and the outro was particularly memorable as it was a true live take. He went nuts dancing around and waving the guitar in front of the giant monitors in Metropolis 1, a truly inspired moment. And it sounds like it, like the last almost minute of that song, the band keeps playing the chorus and Richard Pleasance is just going off on these, a similar sort of looseness to this solo. Lots of high notes, wailing bends and just, slides, and it's wonderful. In the words of Molly Meldrum, do yourself a favour and revisit that song, that outro. Incredible. Thanks, Peter. I know. Once again, it seems like total simplicity. But is it? Because I tell you what, the song's got that 16th note shuffle feel. And so you're trying to play those bends to fit in with that. It's a tricky little phrase to play with that feel. Anyway, I want to say 3 things about this supposedly simple riff. Number 1, it's perfect for the song. Like, what would you have played on that song? It's exactly what the song needs. Number 2, those double stops are not actually double stops. He's playing the top note up here, I reckon, and Dale Ryder is scatting that lower harmony. Like that. And number 3, those notes, those 2 simple notes, are adding a lot of harmonic complexity to the chords that are already pretty cool. So the chords in that part of the song, which is the chorus, are like a G, which is G7, then an E minor 7, or perhaps an E7 sharp 9, and then an E flat major 7 to a C at 9. So every chord has those 2 notes, a D and G on top. So now with these notes coming into it, we're basically hearing this F over all the chords. That's okay for the G7, but then the E7 sharp 9, that means it becomes a flat 9.
Then the E flat major 7 becomes an E flat major 9. And then the C add 9 becomes a C, like a C11 or a C add 11. I love that sort of stuff. Like, basically he's playing, it's not shredding, he's playing just a couple of simple note choices, but perfect for the song, and taking us somewhere that we hadn't been previously in that song, bringing something new to the song.
Brilliant. Mark McEntee of the Divinyls. Boys in Town, or Good Die Young, or Boys in Town, Good Die Young. It could be any number. There's a slew of fantastic examples of Mark's genius, but I'm going to go with Good Die Young. Angus is very famous for his one-handed solos on a couple of songs, Dirty Deeds and such. But this is a one-handed solo that Mark plays. Although I reckon he's using an E-bow, a little magnetic thing that gets your string vibrating without a harsh pick attack. It has that super compressed sound, and at the start you hear the first note ramp up. I reckon Mark's playing it all like on the A string with like a... That's his ending phrase each time, that hammer on. I reckon that's how he's doing it, with slides and hammers, and it's just such a wonderful little theme that he plays as a guitar solo in this song. The song's in G, and the solo is simply over C for 2 bars, G, and then D. But the real genius here for me is the secondary guitar part, the interplay between those basic chords, that beautiful lead line, and the secondary guitar part. Because the second guitar part, which is based on like little 2-note chords, it moves differently to the overall chord progression, introducing complexity, which I love. Simplicity and complexity. But what happens is we've got this chord progression that's going C, C, G, D. But when it goes home to the G, the lead part is on the C note, and the little 2-note part is on the D chord. So it's like a D7 chord is already being played over the G chord. And it just creates this wonderful little bit of tension in there. It's that sort of thing that just makes me want to sit down and work it out and go, what is going on here? How did they come up with something like this? Mark always looked so cool too. So rock. Did you know he was in Air Supply before he went on to form the Divinyls? Poles apart, one would have thought. Oh, Indy, your last Christmas present finally turned up. Yeah. Thanks, eBay guy who said it'd be here for Christmas. I know you're busy, so we'll leave it there for now. Stay tuned for the next 5. But if you can't wait, I've uploaded the entire thing over here.